stop what you're doing. I am going to show you how to make chocolate babka. And chocolate babka is basically a very soft, buttery brioche dough with a chocolate ganache filling, and it is amazing. So I'm going to start the dough off by adding in 3/4 cup of warm water to a mixing bowl. And then I'm going to add in 3 teaspoons of active dry yeast. And I'm going to give it a light stir and let the yeast mixture bloom for about 8 minutes. After I let the yeast bloom for around 8 minutes till it's bubbly and frothy at the top, I'm going to go ahead and pop the bowl onto the mixer. Next, I'm going to add 3 1/3 cups of all-purpose flour to an empty mixing bowl. Next, I'm going to add in 1/2 cup of granulated sugar and 3/4 teaspoon salt. Here I'm using Himalayan pink salt, but it doesn't matter which salt you use. Here is where you want to give the flour, sugar, and salt a light stir, and then add in your yeast mixture and 3 eggs. And I just turn the mixer on low speed and gradually adding the eggs. So when the dough is just holding together, I'm going to add in 10 tablespoons of raw grass-fed butter. I actually made this butter myself because we have a few cows and we do that often. But you can just use your regular store-bought butter. I'm going to keep the mixer running on low speed till all the butter is incorporated. And then I'm going to let it run for about 8 to 10 minutes till the dough is smooth and almost like velvety, making sure to scrape down the sides as needed. Here I'm going to drizzle olive oil around the bowl and just slightly grease the sides for when I'm ready to plop the dough into this bowl. So it's been about 8 minutes now, and you can see the dough is turning into more of a soft texture. I'm just going to take a spatula and plop the dough into the bowl and then lightly shape it with my hands, and then just cover it with plastic wrap. And after that's done, it can chill in the fridge for about 8 hours, or I usually do overnight, and then bake the babka in the morning. Fast forward to the next morning. So we're actually going to start on the chocolate paste. I'm going to start by turning the cooktop on low to medium heat. Then I'm going to add a pot and some lukewarm water to start melting the chocolate. Haha! This recipe calls for 6.5 ounces of dark chocolate. Now that we've got the chocolate measured out, I'm going to go ahead and bring the bowl over to the double boiler and add in 1/2 cup of butter. And yes, I have a small problem. I don't generally measure things, I just get lazy and then eye it. But of course you can be exact with a measuring cup. As you'll see here, I'm going to mix the butter and chocolate together every couple of minutes just to make sure it's melting and getting all the lumps out. Once the chocolate is melted, I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar, half a cup of cocoa powder, and a pinch of salt. And again, I'm just going to continue to stir this until I get a smooth, rich, chocolatey paste. Ta-da! Now it's time to prep the baking pan. And yes, you can turn the flame off. Don't worry, I'm not starting any house fires. Yeah, so this pan is about twice the size of a regular baking pan, and here I'm just lining it with parchment paper so the babka doesn't get stuck in the pan. After I've lightly floured the work surface, I'm going to grab my dough and divide it in half, and then each half is going to be divided into 5 pieces, so 10 pieces of dough altogether. Now that everything's ready to start shaping, I'm going to lightly dust my work surface and then just take the rolling pin and roll the dough out into a nice rectangle. And personally, I like it to be a little bit oval. I don't know why, there's just something about the shape. And when I'm done, when I'm happy with my shape, I'm going to take the chocolate paste and just slap that on there. And I can't lie, chocolate is the best. So yeah, when I'm done with that, I'm going to roll the edges up with my thumbs until it's, I don't know, the shape of a log maybe. And then I'll seal the edges with my thumbs. And I'm actually going to take a bench scraper and just chop down the center, but not all the way to the end. And then I'll butterfly the edges and then fold them over each other. And then I would just seal the end so it stays together. And that is how I shape my babka. So I'm just brushing the babka with a simple egg wash, which is 1 egg and 1 tablespoon of water. And after that, I'm going to let it proof on the counter for about an hour till it's doubled in size. After they're done proofing for about 45 minutes out of the hour, I'm going to preheat the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And then after the oven is done preheating, I am going to put the babka in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes or until it's a deep golden brown color. While I'm waiting for these beauties to finish baking, I'm going to start on the sugar syrup glaze. The recipe is just equal parts sugar and water, but here I am using half a cup of sugar and half a cup of distilled water. And I'm going to turn the heat on medium-low heat and then stir every couple minutes until it's at a low simmer. And then I'll take it off the heat. And these pastries have been baking for almost 10 minutes, so they baked extra fast today, and it looks like it's time to take them out of the oven. Now that the pastries are baked, I'm going to generously douse these guys with the sugar syrup. Okay. Here you go.
This is so good.